So many construction works here in Bologna, and honestly, I can't complain because I do wish we can have such in Nigeria where there will be construction. Every time, at least the roads will be better a bit compared to what it is. I really can't complain.
Free grace and kindness intertwined, loved by all hearts.
It's been a while on this channel. I just hope algorithm will be nice to me and it will show this video to a whole lot of people. I know I've been talking about moving to Italy, coming to study in Italy, but I don't want to be into that. So many people, you can go and study in any country that you like. Yeah, things are always changing everywhere, and I don't want my channel to be solely about how you can apply to this school, how you can apply to that school. There are so many schools in Italy. How many schools do I have to put on my channel to tell you how to apply to this school, how not to apply to that school? I will just leave it, and you can always find a way to do that yourself. There is University League for you to use to get schools that you want when you want to come and study in Italy. So I don't want my channel to be overcrowded because I'm really trying to build a channel, take people along in this jackpot journey. If that is what you like, make sure to subscribe so that you won't miss anything. Right now, I'm on my way to Italian class. You won't believe, even myself, I'm not happy with myself. How can I have A1 Italian certificate and yet I can't speak Italian? It's very, very bad. I have just 15 minutes before the beginning of my Italian class. If you have seen most of my videos, you know I like going to parks to make videos. Well, if you don't have your own apartment yet, most of the time where you live is shared apartment, and some people might be at home, you don't want to disturb. So I live in a shared apartment. Most times I don't feel comfortable filming in my house or in my room. It's usually dark. There are some videos I did whereby I filmed in my room, but I don't like them as such. It's usually dark, not lively. So anytime I get to go out, I prefer filming outside. So I'm in this park waiting to go for my Italian class. If you want to live in Rome, you need to behave like Romans. Italian is very necessary. You need to learn the language. And me, I just love the language and I must learn it. Today's video is about how much I spent personally to come to Italy. I know some people have their admission now. What they are waiting for is visa application, and if you have not done your authentication or legalization, by now you should have started with your authentication, even if you have not gotten date for legalization. Some said legalization date is now entering October, like October. Hopefully, I hope so many people will come to Italy to come and study this year, because without that legalization, you may not be able to apply for your visa. Even if your school asks for SIMIA, there's something called SIMIA. You may still need to legalize your documents also. I came here in 2024, right? The prices might have gone up. Definitely it has gone up, but I will just use an average of the money I spent. So that will give you an overview of what you should be expecting to spend if you want to study in Italy. You planning to study abroad, at least the first thing is for you to get international passport, right? You should have international passport. And right now, I will just tell you that the best one to get is the 10 years passport. Don't get 5 years. 10 years is longer and the difference is not that much. I think 10 years is now 150,000. When I did mine in 2023, I did it for 120,000. The first thing is your passport. So studying in Italy, the next thing you do is for you to get admission, right? University of Bologna, my course, I don't need to pay application fees. Application fee to get admission, that is zero. I didn't pay any money to get admission. The next thing that you do after you've gotten admission is to plan to authenticate and legalize your documents. Those are the process to come and study in Italy. You don't just get admission, then you apply for your visa next. That's not how it's being done.
Every time we chill, you ain't gotta bring no stuff. We got what we need right here. Just let me be in your life.
Okay, so you need to authenticate documents. What are those documents that you need to authenticate? Your BSA transcripts, your certificates, and birth certificate. If you are doing this authentication in Abuja, you may not do your birth certificate, but if you are doing it in Lagos, you are going to need birth certificate. They will ask you to authenticate your birth certificate. Okay, then maybe marriage certificate, you need to authenticate that also for change of name. After I've gotten admission, the next thing I did was to authenticate my document. So I authenticated my BSc certificate, transcript, change of name certificate. To authenticate your certificate, you need to go to Abuja. I checked going to Abuja by flight, insecurity in the country. I'm sorry. I can't go myself. I don't want to go myself to Abuja. Then I now considered accommodation also. Peradventure, I was not able to finish authenticating at the Ministry of Education, then going to Ministry of Foreign Affairs to do that. It may not be convenient. I need to translate the document also. Anything you are doing, you are authenticating, you need to translate them. The company that did my translation, I looked it up, I did it in TBS, and they are one of the licensed translator. Even on Italian embassy, they are there. When I want to translate my documents, I asked them if they can do the authentication for me in Abuja. They said yes, they can do it. So while they are translating the documents, they also did the authentication for me. So the total I spent, the authentication and translation, was 270,000. If you want to go to Abuja yourself, you may not do that. But authenticating my documents, I spent 270,000. During that, I got date for legalization. I paid a total of 110,000 for legalization.
Caught up and I pay my own bills. Always 50-50 in relationships. The shoes on my feet, the clothes I'm wearing, the rock I'm rocking. 'Cause I depend on me if I'm
So far for step 1 till step 4, which is admission till legalization, that was how much spent. So now let's go on to visa application. That's the elephant in the room. When applying for your Italian visa for study purposes, there are some documents that are very, very important, like health insurance, or what you refer to as the travel insurance. That is very important. I used mutual benefits and I paid 34,000 for health insurance. Then for accommodation, very, very important. You need to book accommodation also. You add it to part of the document you are submitting for your visa application. For accommodation, I didn't pay. You don't pay for accommodation when you have not gotten your visa. I just use my card to book for accommodation. You can use booking.com or any Airbnb, but your best bet anyway is booking.com. So it's better you use booking.com to book for your accommodation. So I always spend money for health insurance. Then another very important document when applying for your Italy study visa is tax clearance. Thing that shows the embassy that you are paying tax. Anyway, for me, my sponsors were my mom and dad and myself. For my dad, we use annual returns from CAC. That was done for 8,000 naira to get the annual returns. Then for my mom, JTB is free. She was a civil servant then. And for myself, I just got TIN from my company, the TIN number, the TIN certificate from my company where I was working with. before I left Nigeria. That was what I used for three of us as tax clearance. So far, that's how much I spent in preparing documents for my visa application. Visa application fees. How much did I pay for visa application fee? I paid 97,000. Normally it was supposed to be 94,000, but I asked the lady some questions at TLS and she added 4,000 more to my bill. You can imagine. You pay when you get there, okay? So that was why I paid 97,000. Normally then it was supposed to be 94,000. I don't know. I asked you a question because I saw the bill. It was there that for assistance. I was like, assistance for what? Because I asked you a question. I didn't even borrow your pen also. Just asked you something and my money was deducted. So sometimes if somebody is doing your application for you and they ask you to pay, don't complain, please. Because even at TLS for a little help, I was charged. You can imagine. I'm between the devil and the deep blue sea. So I have to just submit my application. I couldn't complain. So I paid 97,000 for visa application. Maybe not necessary, it's not part of the money I spent. I don't have to talk about my proof of fund because those ones are in the bank. So I don't think that one is necessary talking about it. It's not part of the money I spent. It's still our money. Anyway, in just 1 month, my visa came out. I submitted the application in July. I got my visa in August. Once it came out, the next thing is to book for flights, right? So I booked my flights, and from Lagos to Bologna was 870,000. That's the total I spent from my admission to getting my visa and booking for flights. Accommodation down here, I did not pay anything. I was trying to get accommodation, but you can always pay when you get here. Don't pay before you leave. When you come, you can pay for maybe Airbnb or whatever it is that you've reserved. Okay, you can always do that when you get there compared to you paying before you leave. I don't know, you can take the rest, but I did not pay it then. Now let's look at the total amount spent in coming here.
If I wrote you a symphony, just to say how much you mean to me, what would you do? If I told you you were beautiful, would you date me on the regular? Tell me, would you? Well, baby, I've been around the world, but I ain't seen myself another girl like you. This ring here represents my heart, but there's just one thing I need from you. Say I
Guys, that's how much was spent coming down here. How much I've been spending from there, well, that one is up to me. But from Nigeria down to this place, it's not up to 2 million naira. I hope this will help you to guide you to apply yourself, do everything yourself without an agent giving you some ridiculous amount. It's something you can do yourself. All right, guys, that's it for today's video, and I'll see you in my next one. Thank you and bye.